Hey there, everyone. I am Joelle Han at Brooklyn Book Doctor. It's Friday, January 22nd. I'm here in Brooklyn, and today I'm going to be going live with Jenn Mayer, who is the founder of Baby Caravan, a doula service here in Brooklyn. And she went through Book Proposal Academy last year, started last February. Went all the way through and has some exciting news to share with you. And she's going to be coming on and joining us very shortly. Just waiting for Instagram to tell more followers that the video is on. And then she'll be coming on, and I hope that you can stick around and hear what she has to say and listen to our conversation about what's happened for her since she finished her proposal and since she's been working on making it something that everyone's going to want to buy. Here we go. Looks like we've got some traction. So it is Friday. Oh, here she is. Okay. Hey, Jen. All right. Going live. Connecting. Yeah. It's been a day of slow bars over here. So as soon as she gets on. Hey, there we are.
Hi.
Hi. Good to see you. Hey there.
Hey, sorry it keeps going in and out.
I feel like that's happening today. I've had that a couple of times already. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Can you hear okay?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. Okay, there we go. Great. So I was just saying that we're going to talk about um, what's been happening with your book proposal since you finished it, which some exciting things brewing. And I just want to tell people that I told them already, and I'm going to tell them again now that you're here, that you went through Book Proposal Academy about a year ago and finished your proposal over the summer, in the late summer.
Yes.
And it was obviously a very intense year to be. Oh, hi.
This is my son Oliver. He's been home with me since March.
Hey, Oliver. Familiar face there.
Yeah.
Obviously, 2020 was an intense year to take on any big project, but you joined the academy and you wrote your proposal. And so I thought we could just chat about what happened since the end of the end of the academy.
Yeah, so since the end of the academy, I think we ended in June,
Yeah,
right? Which feels like a
a long time ago.
time ago. And I didn't quite finish my proposal. I was working on the sample chapter all summer. Ollie, can you please go back to school, my love? And I'll check your work, and then we can call Grandma and Grandpa. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. So at the end of BPA, I was working on my sample chapter, and then spent the summer finishing that. And then in August, I finished the proposal. And then I started sending it to agents around mid-August.
And you signed with someone.
Yeah, I'm super thrilled to be working with Anna Geller. I sent it through to a few agents, and we clicked, and I'm so excited to be working with her. And we started working together in September.
And I know Anna obviously also, but I wonder, and I also love her, but what did you connect with about her, or how did she connect with your project?
I think she really connected with the topic. My book is called Fully Funded by 40 Weeks, the self-employed and small business owner's guide to parental leave and financial resiliency. So it's really a how-to guide for self-employed parents to be on how to create, self-fund, and implement their parental leave. And I know she is a fellow mom, and I think she really resonated with the material. And I really wanted to work with someone who understood how helpful this book will be for self-employed parents planning a leave.
Yeah, and that's really a theme with agents is you want to feel like they get you and they're passionate about what you are doing and representing and the knowledge that you're sharing so that they can go out there and do their very best on your behalf.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, so that was around September, right? You signed with her in September?
Yes. And then, I had like really good traction. And then at the end of September, my son went back to school.
Uh-huh.
And because we'd given up on kindergarten, it was a mess in the spring. So back to school at the end of September, and it was really stressful doing first grade remotely, and it took a lot of my time and energy. And we're still he switched schools in November, and it's been a lot better since then.
So you signed, and then you had the typical pandemic interruptions in your life, small child at home, while you were running your business. But then you also did some things with your business, right, that were in service to your book or vice versa. Talk us through what happened there.
Yeah, so the plan that Anna and I made together is that I would focus and build my platform before we go and pitch to publishers. So that includes building out a content website for Fully Funded by 40 Weeks. And I'm been in the process of building that website out currently. I started in October. And I just launched the Instagram, so at Fully Funded X 40 Weeks. And it's going to have a lot of resources and educational material for people planning a leave. So I'm creating a directory state by state for paid family leave programs that self-employed people can opt into and all the information they need in order to do that. And then later on, there's going to be a second directory for short-term disability insurance programs that people can opt into. So these are two potential ways that self-employed parents can fund or partially fund a parental leave. And then the other way they can fund is through savings and creating a business plan. So I'm going to have courses to help people with that. And so those are coming too. So I wanted to take some time to build this like foundation and platform before going to agents or publishers.
To publishers, right. So it's so interesting to me because maybe your business, Baby Caravan, had been on the brink of a change anyway. And I don't know, I'm guessing actually. But then when you drafted your book proposal for Fully Funded in 40 Weeks, it was somewhere in that process that you decided, okay, actually, I'm going to either do a pivot or rebrand or go in a slightly different direction in order to. So let me not guess what it was in order to. Why don't you just tell us how did that work?
I have to remember what the sequence was. Because we've been working together over a year. So in fall of 2019, when I first started working with you, I just had this idea for a book. And I wanted to get this information into the hands of self-employed parents. And that's really all that I envisioned. And then in February, I started BPA with you. And we started, crafting the actual book proposal. And then through that process, I realized that what I was creating was more than a book and that there was going to be a content website and courses that parallel the book. And through the Book Proposal Academy process, that's how I figured that all out. So I didn't really start this project intending to start a new business, but here we are, and I'm here for it. I'm excited. I'm really excited to make this information more accessible because the states don't do a great job of like telling people that these resources are out there and it's a possibility. Like any self-employed person that I talk to that I know, and I'm like, hey, did you know that in New York State you can opt into paid family leave? They're like, what? No, I didn't know that. I had no idea. So I just want to try to get people to just know that it's an option.
It's a great service. and so needed. Are you then going to continue with Baby Caravan and offer fully funded in 40 weeks as another service? So you actually have two businesses now?
I have two businesses now. Baby Caravan is a doula referral collective based in New York City, and we help connect parents with vetted birth and postpartum doulas and lactation counselors in the city. So that will be its own separate entity. And then fully funded by 40 weeks is going to be have more national reach, and it'll be an online business.
Got it. Okay, great. That's a great explanation. So what I love about this, first of all, it's badass that you just started a second business while working at home and schooling at home.
I
And
think I'm just nuts.
it can be surprising what a person ends up doing in extreme circumstances.
Totally.
And you just become like majorly more productive. Um, so that is awesome. And I also just love how when you think about the idea that you're really passionate about, all these other things happen that you weren't expected. I mean, that's so much a part of the book journey I've seen over and over again. And especially when you are writing a proposal where you're positioning your idea in the world, not just in the world of books, but in the world in general. Like in your case, your book is so intensely service oriented. Like you are really giving people the hands-on nuts and bolts, the nitty gritty of how to do this if you're a self-employed person and you're starting a family or having another child. Like, how do you actually make this work for you financially so you don't get sunk along the way, which is not what any new parent at any stage wants. You want to have some stability. You want to have the ability to enjoy your new child and not to disrupt the family life too much if there's already other children. So having this resource is like, it's a major service piece. And so in thinking about it in that way for your book, you realized that actually you wanted to make this a tangible service outside of the book too. Like it just naturally feeds itself to that.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. And also to make the case for self-employed people to actually take a leave. I think when you are self-employed or freelancer, like you're used to figuring things out and you're used to like hustling and doing all the things. And like when I had my first baby 6 years ago, this big kid that you keep seeing pop in and out of here, I thought I could do it all. I thought I could have a baby and then just like start working again. And I took 14 days off and it was really, really hard. And I suffered a lot of health consequences because of that. And I had been a doula for 10 years. Like I totally knew better, but I thought I was like different or that my work was flexible. So it was going to be okay, or I was going to figure it out. So that's another thing I want to do with this work is really to make the case for taking time off and why it matters and why it's important. And I think most of all, why it's worth it, why it's worth to restructure a business temporarily for one financial quarter, or why it's worth it to save a chunk of money to live off of for 3 or 4 months. Because it can be life-changing. It can really, really, really matter.
Right. Yeah, it can make a big difference in the long term. So your book is also, and your business now is also advocacy for this idea that I know I also see people going into parenthood with this idea of like, yeah, you just pop it out and then you get back to work.
Yeah, somehow we have this myth and fable in our country that the like fable that, oh, you work in the fields and you have your baby and then you just go right back to work. Myth. Doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's
But
not
yeah,
good
then
for
also that political advocacy, and I'm really interested with our new administration of how much work we can get done for passing a federally mandated paid parental leave or paid family leave for all.
Yeah.
And I hope that self-employed people are included in that, not just
Right.
employed people.
Well, it's a good sign that freelancers who were eligible got unemployment insurance under the pandemic. That is moving in the right direction, at least. Floating it
Absolutely.
out there. And I just want to speak to the fact that what you did so you got to the end of your proposal and you wrote your sample chapter and you got an agent, and then you actually paused in the book pitching process in order to create this new business, this platform of resources, however that works to be a national resource online. and to have a presence on social in some way. And that I know that for some authors, getting to that point of having put in so much work in the proposal and getting an agent, there can be a lot of impatience to then just send it out, send it around, and finally get the book deal and finally get to the end or somewhat near the end of this process. But what you did, which I think is really smart, especially with what's happening in publishing these days, was to pause and create this business ancillary or complement to the book so that when you take it out to publishers, they look at that and say, wow, this is not just a one and done book. Like, this is part of a whole ecosystem that Jenn Mayer is at the helm of. And yes, we want to publish this book. I mean, we don't have a book deal yet, but it will help them to say, yes, we want to publish this, because we can see that this is this is part of a whole system, and people are going to be using it, and it's going to be useful in many ways. So maybe Anna helped you go in that direction. Maybe you're thinking about going in that direction anyway, but I think it's super smart what you did.
I wasn't thinking of going in that direction. Like, I was definitely the impatient author who my goal was to get a book deal by the end of 2020. And so trusting Anna's expertise, and like, I'm working with her for a reason. She is a professional. This is what she does. And if her recommendation is to do X, I'm going to listen to her. Yeah. And then reframing for myself that this wasn't a 1-year project. This wasn't a 2020 project. Maybe this is a 2-year project. Maybe this is a 3-year project. And then also, I'm just learning that writing a book isn't a check. You don't write a book check. I'm learning that it's years of work to create a book. And so I'm learning as I go too. And I'm just following where
you're putting in the work.
Yeah.
You're putting in the work, you're doing everything right, and also being open to the ways that it doesn't quite match your hopes and expectations, but it's still, even though it doesn't match, it's still not off the rails at all. It's actually really on the rails, but it's just taking a different form than you thought it might.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And
so I still feel engaged, and my to-do list is a mile long, but that's also something that parenting during this pandemic time has taught me, and my writing partner, Eileen, that we would make writing dates for 15 minutes, for 30 minutes after the kids went to bed. Well, it was before dinner for her because she's on the West Coast, and after my kids went to bed. And the consistent work moved the needle.
And it's amazing how little can help, right?
Yes. Every little bit got us closer to finishing our proposals. So I've been continuing with that mindset, that the consistency has proven more than just like those like work sprints.
That's so smart.
I don't have that time anymore to just put my head down for 4 hours and
And that's the reality for many, many, many people. The dream of being the writer at the oak desk or mahogany desk, looking out at the forest or the sea or something like that, it doesn't often work that way. Sometimes you just got to get down, get it done, even in tiny little increments, and move the needle forward, like you said. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Great. Well... I mean, I want to congratulate you on a lot of hard work done under challenging circumstances.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask you an annoying question, which is, so now that your platform is launched or launching, when do you think you're going to start pitching to publishers?
I'm not entirely sure, because the platform launch is taking longer than I thought the website would be launched in January, but it's looking more towards March. But I launched the Instagram this week, and I'm making some good traction over there. So I'm going to treat the Instagram like a website before the website's finished.
Okay.
And then I'm working on some editorial pieces to pitch to publications. So I think I'm going to default to Anna and when like she thinks it's a good time. But I definitely my goal is to get a few pieces published and like some good traction on either social media or mailing list, and then the website launch is going to come. So we'll see in what order that happens.
What order reality puts it in for you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there seems to be some magic of it all. Like, how is it all going to land? And it will.
It will. It totally will. Well, big congratulations. I'm excited for your editorials. I think it's a great time for think pieces for parents and self-employed parents out there. And you're doing excellent work. So I couldn't be happier myself. I'm really glad that you're expanding in these ways. And I can't wait to hear about the deal.
Oh, Joelle, thank you. Without BPA and the container and our like rock star group and your leadership, I would not be here talking about my book proposal and my agent and my project. Like, BPA seriously is the container that enabled any of this to happen. Because if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have done it on my own. I wouldn't have been taking care of my kids all day and then like, oh, at night when I'm really tired, I'm going to write my book proposal.
Right. It is definitely more difficult to do it by yourself. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, congratulations. Excited for you. I'm so happy you went through BPA and it led to all this expansion. Who would have thought?
I would not have.
Oh, tell us again your Instagram handle, your new one, so we can hear it again.
The new one is fully funded X 40 weeks.
Fully funded X 40 weeks. Is it 40 spelt out or 40 number?
40.
40. Okay. Mm-hmm. Fully funded X 40 weeks. Yes. Yeah. So
and in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be putting out all the resources, like state by state, up on the Instagram, so people can go there for a resource.
Awesome. That's so awesome. You're definitely going to get some followers there.
Hope so.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks
it's really
for
great to talk to you. Okay. Bye.
Bye.